Welcome to your breath expansion, all of that flow. I'm going to have a couple of blocks here. We will do some standing series and all of that, but you guys know this is not a super intense practice. It's not intended to be anyway. So take it where you need, and if you need to take breaks, it's all good, right? Like it's not a big deal, y'all. It's not a big deal. And if you want to play music, I mean, you don't have to. Feel free to go ahead and start your playlist. And then let's move into that you sit on a block or a meditation cushion so that you find the tilt of your pelvic bowl. You're still going to draw the pit of your belly in and up ever so slightly so that you feel supported. So we're going to start in this meditative seat. You can cross your feet at the ankles. I'm going to face the other way today. And root down through your sits bones. Allow for your spine to elongate. So feeling the vertebrae stack one on top of the other like a staircase. And then the knots on the fronts of your shoulders, you draw them back ever so slightly. So there is an expansion through your collarbones. And then your shoulder blades pin to your upper back. There's no pain or tension in the knees. If you feel comfortable closing down your eyes, I invite you to do so, but that's never a requirement, right? Some people like to just gaze softly out in front of them. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, go ahead and exhale completely. And then take a deep inhale through your nose. Allow for your breath to rise. And exhale through your mouth, emptying back down to release, to let it go. Inhale. And exhale. If you choose to move into Samavriti Pranayama or your Ujjayi Pranayama, I want you to even out your breath so that the inhale and the exhale match both in duration and intensity, wherever it is that you choose to go today. Just keep breathing here. Setting an intention for your practice. And then if you notice that you need some gentle movements here, I invite you to start to take those. So I'm going to roll my rib cage around just because I feel like I have some stuff going on around my vertebra right here at the top of my lumbar spine. So I'm just going to take some circular movements. You don't have to. You can just sit there and keep breathing. And then you'll find stillness, stacking your vertebra once again. Pull the pit of your belly back. Now, if you have anything like degenerative discs or bulging discs, you're going to just start to turn your face from side to side, right? So you're going to feel this in the scalenes, opening up through the sides of your neck, through your traps. If your cervical spine is healthy, right, so everything feels pretty good, I'm going to have you inhale, take a lengthening of your spine. And then exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. So now you feel this opening through the back of your neck, but your spine is still long and strong. Your shoulders still roll back the whole time. And then you inhale here. Exhale, take your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you're stretching through the left side of your neck. Now, if you notice that the shoulder head starts to roll forward, I want you to roll it back. And then you inhale, bring your chin down towards your chest. And exhale, take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Now stretching through the right side of your neck. There it is. And then you can stay just like this, going side to side. Feel that out. If you're on a specific side and it feels good to stay, and then move your chin kind of up and down. So it might look like your chin going from your clavicle pulling in towards your sternum and lifting up towards the clavicle where it inserts into the shoulder, right? Just moving here. Find whatever it is. You're stretching out your neck. But don't go too deep. It's still early in your practice. And then you're going to come right back through center. Let the crown of your head lift up. And then extend your right leg out in front of you and bring the sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh. So Janu Shirshasana A. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then you could have a deep or a soft bend to your right knee. On the exhale, hinge at your hips. Take your rib cage towards your right thigh and fold over your right leg, but watching your toes. So you want your second and your third toe to point up. And sometimes I take pulsation-like movements here where you inhale, lengthen your spine, pull your heart forward. Exhale, come down a little bit deeper. Just opening up through your right hamstring, your left hip, and the low back on the left side. Good. And then slowly walk yourself back up. Let your left hand come behind your left hip. You can stay right here or press into your left palm. Come onto your left knee or left shin. Your right foot goes flat. And then you lift your hips, lift your chest, and then your right arm can circle around, or you can just be still. Take one more inhale. Exhale, sit it down, face back forward, lift your left knee. And then take your left foot to the outside of your right knee, right thigh. Let the medial arch come down. Both sits bones rooted into the ground. Left hand behind your left hip. Inhale, reach your right arm high. And then exhale, twist over into your left leg. Now you could just hug your left knee in. I like to take my fingertips on my right hand and press my left collarbone, my left shoulder head back. And then you might gaze over your left shoulder. And then on your inhale, turn your gaze forward. On the exhale, drop your hands over to the right just for a second. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale, unravel, let both legs come out in front of you. And then take the sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. Inhale, reach your arms high. And exhale, fold over your left leg. Breathing here. There should be no pain or tension in your right kneecap. So if you feel anything, change the degree of the bend in your right knee. Breathing here. And then when you're ready, walk yourself back up. Right hand comes behind your right hip. Press your palm down. Inhale, lift onto your right knee or right shin. Lift your hips, lift your chest, float your left arm back. And then you have the option to, I'm going to restack my right shoulder over my right wrist. To begin to swim your left arm around, getting into your rotator cuff, your shoulder girdle, all that good stuff. And then you sit yourself back down, face forward, lift your right knee, and then drop your right foot to the outside of your left knee, left thigh. Your right arm is like a second spine, so it's helping to lift and keep your shoulders over your hips. Left arm to the sky, that's your inhale. Exhale, twist over into your right leg. So you're either hugging your right knee in, or you slide your left elbow to the outside of your right knee, right thigh. And then you inhale, lift. Exhale to twist. Now on your inhale, turn your gaze forward. And then exhale, drop your hands over to the left. Inhale to come right back through center. Exhale, let both legs come out long. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Now I'm going to take a bend to my knees. You're probably going to have to move your flesh out of the way, right? It's all good. Find the front edge of your sits bones so that you get a tilt of your pelvis forward, and then inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, fold over your thighs. Hands may or may not find your feet. It's not the goal. It just might happen. And then you roll your shoulders back, broaden through your collarbones. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, pull your heart forward and really press your frontal rib cage into the tops of your thighs. And then your legs might straighten out. Don't worry about it though. It doesn't matter. I just want you to keep breathing here. And then slowly come up. Bend your knees. Cross your feet at the ankles, coming into all fours. I'm going to slide my towel back here for my knees. And then stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Bring your knees underneath your hips and spread your fingers out wide. So coming into all fours, your box pose. With your inhale, take a soft belly down, lift your chin, lift your tail. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back. Let your head hang, navel to your spine. And then inhale to roll back through. Belly down. So you're lifting through your tailbone, right? You're lifting through your sits bones. And then on the exhale, reverse it. Dome out your upper back. Let your head hang. Breathing in. You know you're breathing in. And then breathing out. You know you're breathing out. And just begin to move between cat and cow at your own pace. And if you need to move out of that kind of vertical plane, you start to sway your hips around. You feel the sensation it creates in your shoulders, your hips, your wrists, because you're going to get into a little bit of everything, right? But wherever it is that you are, you're still supporting yourself as much as you can by pulling the soft skin between your navel and your pubic bone up, right? So you're trying to kind of move that energetic space away from your waistband. It's not going to actually happen, but it's what you're looking for, right? The sensation. And then as you're ready, come back into your box pose. Now remember, my head won't hang completely down. So if you're looking at me for like visual cueing, I still have this stuff with my nose, so I can't hang my head completely down for very long, right? For maybe a second. In downward facing dog, I want you to think of an undulation of your spine, right? So let it feel watery. Let it feel fluid. You're pressing your palms down, and then I want you to pull that skin away from your waistband again, right? Take an inhale, press your palms down, and then as you exhale, float your hips up and back. Let your heels get heavy. Press your chest in towards your thighs. I'm lifting my head just a little bit, but your head's going to hang down completely. Your gaze is in between your thighs. And then you might lift onto the ball mounds of your feet. Let your heels get heavy again, but breathe. Any movements you need to make? All good. And then here we go. I'm going to slide my blocks to the front of my mat real quick, just so I can show you how to use them should you choose to. And then on your inhale, float your right leg up to the sky. Use your whole breath. So 3-leg dog. And then exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. You're gonna let your left heel go flat. Hands can be on your blocks, hands can be on the ground. I literally don't care, right? On your inhale, pull your heart forward. Feel the stretch, opening up kind of also through the front of your left hip while feeling heat and compression on the right hip. One more breath in here. Probably going to feel this a lot in your left calf. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten through your right leg. Let your navel spin towards your right thigh bone to help pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. As you breathe here, press down into the big toe ball mound of your right foot and feel the massage it creates at the base of your calf. So this is the area that we're trying to focus on to get the heels to go flat. It's not the Achilles, it's everything around it, right? Now on your inhale, re-bend into your right knee. Feel free to lift your left heel if that's going to feel better to you. And then exhale, shift your hips back, straighten through your right leg. One more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, re-bend into your right knee. And then exhale, step your left foot forward, forward fold at the top of your mat. And then I'm going to actually have you take your feet about hip width distance apart. Hands can be on your blocks. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, draw your navel to your spine. And then a deep, generous bend into your knees as you exhale to a ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows. I'm not going to let my head go completely, as you already know, right? So just breathing here. Good, y'all. You want this to be about a release in your posterior chain. So the low back, your hamstrings, all this good stuff. No strain, no pain, no tension. And then exhale completely. I am going to heel toe my feet together because it's my preference. You do you. On the inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach your arms high. Stay as you exhale. Stick your bottom back and down. Pull the pit of your belly up and then think of the shoulders lifting so your torso lifts. So it becomes about your abdominal wall, less about your hip joints, less about your knees, right? All of the musculature is supporting you here. You could lift your toes, drop a little bit lower. Here's your inhale. Exhale, forward fold, let it go, head hangs down. Now inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale to your high plank, step your feet back. We're not staying here long. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. And then inhale, Ashtangasana. Knees come down to the ground. And then exhale, stick your bottom up. Drop your chest, your chin to the earth, gaze forward. It's like a little inchworm. And then you inhale, pubic bone, toenails to the ground. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Exhale, press through all fours, tuck your toes, hips to your heels for child's pose. Breathe here. And then inhale, press up into your box pose. Exhale, wave it up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky, but use your whole breath. And exhale, step your left foot forward. Right heel goes flat. Hands on blocks if you like it. Skip it if you don't. Bend deeply into your left knee. Feel the stretch of your right calf. Or maybe that's just me today, right? I don't know. I don't know how you feel. But pull your heart forward. That's your inhale. You can also come onto the ball of your right foot if that feels better in your body, right? It's going to be a different kind of a stretch on the front of your right hip. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten through the left leg. Let your right heel get heavy. Inhale, bend into your left knee. Exhale, shift it back. Last one, inhale. And exhale, hold. You can shorten your stance or lengthen it. Inhale, bend into your left knee. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, bend into your knees. Reach your arms high. And then this time on the exhale, stand up nice and tall. Bring your hands to heart center. Ground down. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Inhale, swim your arms out and up. Maybe you take a back bend here. And exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, tabletop your back. Exhale, step your feet back with control. Take your inhale here. Stay for the exhale. You're rounding slightly through your upper back without completely doming it out. Inhale, knees to the ground. Exhale, butts high, heart slow. Gaze forward. Inhale, all the way to the ground. Untuck your toes. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips to your heels. Let it go. Now inhale, press back up into your box pose. And exhale, lift your hips up and back. Now stepping feet outside of the hands. Inhale, you might roll to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward. You're more than welcome to float your feet outside of your hands if you choose. It's extra. Heels in, toes out, bottoms low, hearts high. Seal your palms at heart center. Lift your chest. So Malasana, yogic squat. Now it's very typical at the beginning for the spine to be rounded and for the torso to drop down, right? But as your flexibility and strength here increase, at some point, your shoulders start to stack over the hips, the tailbone drops down, and you're breathing with ease, right? And then you have this option to just be here, holding, be still, or you can kind of rock side to side. If you have any arm variations that suit you, this is, I think, the only time we're going to do Malasana unless something else comes up for me. If you want to take your left arm out in front of the left shin, right arm to the sky. We haven't done a whole lot of shoulder opening, so don't overdo anything. But if you're feeling something, go for it. If you're taking any arm variations, go ahead and move over to the other side. And then you release your hands back down to center, press your palms. Inhale, lift your hips, turn your toes forward. And then exhale, you can take a bend to the knees. Just drape your chest to your thighs. Let your head go. My head's not, remember, but your head's going to hang down completely. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. I'm going to heel toe my feet together slightly. And then exhale, step back to a high plank just for a second. We're not going to go down through chaturanga or anything like that, but hold your inhale here in high plank. And then exhale, use your core to lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog and breathe. All right, y'all. Inhale, soft bend to the knees, gaze forward. And then exhale, step as many steps as you want, your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, your hands come down. Step your left foot back and soften your left knee down to the ground. I'm going to double up my towel real quick. All right. So before you even come up, squeeze your inner thighs towards one another energetically, even though they're not actually touching. This is what's going to help you with your balance and your stability. And then you inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Right knee is a 90-degree bend. Left hip to thigh to knee is a diagonal. Pull the pit of your belly back. Now take an inhale. Reach your fingertips a little bit higher. And then on the exhale, bring your hands to the small of your back. Fingertips facing up if it is appropriate for you. And then cricket wing your elbows back. So again, this energetic space between your pubic and your navel, it's a big deal, y'all. It's a big deal in everything, in your yoga, in your life. This is where it's at, right? The creation of civilization, it's all here. The creation of you, it's here. So let yourself come down and forward, but with control. Pull this back. You're going to feel heat. That's good, right? You want to feel here. And then from that space, you begin to lift your navel up and away from the top of your pubic bone, your sternum up and away from the top of your navel. You're going to gently feel the rounding of your upper back over an imaginary beach ball. Breathe. And then you firm that space up to lift your shoulders back over your hips. That's your inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. All right, left hand stays down. Inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. Stack your shoulders, stack your clavicles, but watch your left elbow. Exhale, curl up your left toes, lift your left knee. Now, you can stay right here, or on your next breath out, you roll to the outer edges of both feet, all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. This is not for everybody, so listen to your body. Horizon lunge, right fingertips reach down towards your left inner arch. And then you inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, walk all the way over to the left, to the left, to the left. You're at the back of your mat. Left knee bends. You're more than welcome to stay lifted. Stay high with your left toes facing towards the long edge of your mat. Or drop down for low skandasana. Rotate your right toes up. And hands come to heart center. So getting into your groin, your inner thighs, all that good stuff. You can walk your hands forward if it feels good. And if you did that, you're going to walk your hands back. Squeeze at the base of your pubic bone. So Mula Bandha. This is how you find that area to lift and to be supported as you transition. You inhale, walk yourself to the top of your mat-ish. It's coming into warrior two. So right toes towards the front of your mat. Exhale, windmill open. Left toes angle slightly inward. And then your right knee bends, tracks over the heel or the ankle. You're basically on a tightrope here rather than a railroad tracks. Drop it low. On the inhale, flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill. Take your right hand forward and down. Extended side angle, left arm reaches up and over. So seal the outer edge of your left foot down and then reach through your left fingertips and breathe. Perfect, y'all. On your next inhale, lift, flip, reverse your warrior again. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. So straighten your right leg, bump your left hip back, reach your right hand down and your left arm high. Your right hand could also be on a block, but think of stacking your torso on top of your right thigh. And gaze up. Good. Stay right here. On your next inhale, warrior two, bend your right knee, arms out like a T. Exhale, now you windmill your hands down, frame your front foot, parallel your back toes. Now inhale to a standing split. Your hands might be on blocks. Your head's gonna hang down, mine is not. Take an inhale, and then exhale, tap your left knee behind the right. Stay here for your inhale, and then exhale, let your left knee draw a line down your right calf, and you're gonna sit down. So this is just how we started class, except if you want to bring your left leg out like we did earlier for your seated twist, that's what you'll do. Otherwise, both knees stay bent, but you root your sits bones down, both of them. Now inhale, reach your left arm to the sky. Right arm is like a second spine. Exhale, twist over into your right leg. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Breathe. And then on your inhale, turn your gaze forward. And then exhale, drop your hands over to the left. Get your counter twist. Inhale, come back into center. Now on the exhale, just bring your hands behind you so that you can rock back. Left foot comes to the ground. So you're in a seated figure four or like a seated half pigeon, right? So I want you to focus. Shoulders over hips, right foot is slightly flexed to support your knee. And you breathe here. You're more than welcome to take some movements or to just be still. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, extend your left leg long. Now your right ankle is still crossed over your left thigh. I want you to be careful with the extension of the left knee. You're probably going to have to take like a purposeful bend to it so that as you come forward, it doesn't bother you. On the inhale, reach your arms up overhead and then exhale, fold over. So it's like a figure four, but you're folding over. Not staying for super long, just catching a different angle. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Uncross, unravel. Now bring your feet together, and you might end up using your hands, and it's all good, y'all. Nobody cares. Nobody can see you, so don't worry about it. But if you can, Mula Bandha, squeeze at the base of your pubic bone, and then come all the way to standing. And then exhale, forward fold. I don't care how you get there, just get there. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your right foot back and bring your right knee down to the ground. So left knee tracks your heel or your ankle. That shift forward with your pelvis, right? So you're feeling this now through the right frontal hip and the psoas. Firm up your inner thighs like you're trying to pull them towards one another. And then inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. Stay for the exhale. Let yourself drop down, but with control, right? It's not just like you are doing the action. And then you inhale, reach your arms higher. Exhale, bring your hands down to the small of your back, fingertips up if it's there, cricket wing your elbows back. And then press your pelvis forward. Start to lift up out of your hips. So this is not about the low back at all. The low back is simply supportive. And then you're going to firm up the pit of your belly to bring your shoulders back up over your hips. That's your inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands down, frame your front foot. The right hand stays down. Inhale, lift your left arm up to the sky. Exhale, curl up your right toes, lift your right knee. You have the option to stay right here or inhale. Exhale, horizon lunge, spin to the outer edges of both feet, all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat, but watch your right arm. And then you inhale, lift, flip forward, and then all the way to the right, all the way to your right knee, to the back of your mat. Option to stay lifted or to drop down low for low skandasana. Rotate your left toes up and dig your left heel to the ground. Breathe. Hands can come to heart center, or same thing, you can walk your arms forward like we did earlier if that feels good to you. I'm going to flip sides, so don't panic. Right knee is still bent, left leg is still long. Now inhale, lift your hips, walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Your left toes go to 12 o'clock with the top of your mat. Right toes angle slightly inward. Exhale, windmill open, left side warrior two. Gaze to your left fingertips. Open your arms out like a T. And then inhale, lift your left palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, take your left hand forward and down. Your right arm reaches up and over, so extended side angle. Breathe here. You're stretching through your right side body. Keep sealing the outer edge of your right foot down as you breathe. And then you inhale, lift, flip, reverse your warrior. Exhale, straighten through your left your left leg, bump your right hip back. Utthita Trikonasana, left hand travels down, right arm high. Breathe. Stack your torso on your left thigh bone. In traditional drishti, your gaze point would follow your right hand. Breathing in and out. Now inhale, bend into your left knee, warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands down, parallel your back toes. Inhale to your standing split, straighten your left leg, lift the right, let your head hang down. Exhale, tap your right knee behind the left. Inhale here, and then exhale, you kind of drop your right toes down, draw a line with your right knee, down your left calf, and sit down preparing for your seated twist. So your left foot comes to the outside of your right thigh. You have the option to extend your right leg long. Left hand behind you, inhale, reach your right arm high. Exhale, twist over into your left leg. Breathe. And then you inhale, turn your gaze forward. Exhale, drop your hands over to the right. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, hands behind you, fingertips towards you, rock back. Right foot comes to the floor in front of your right sit bone, right glute. And then you flex your left foot. Lift your chest. Get really honest with yourself if you're rolling your spine and rolling back, right? You're trying to get your shoulders to stack over your hips. Now, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. But just know what you're doing so you know what you're doing. You can move if you like it. You can be still. One more inhale here. And then on the exhale, extend your right leg long. Now watching your right knee, take that bend to it if you need. And then inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Pull your shoulder blades down. Breathing in. And then gently begin to walk yourself back up. Unravel, but coming into Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together, your heels in towards your sits bones. Hands behind your hips. Now I push myself a little bit closer in, my pelvis towards the heels. If you've got anything going on in your groin, your hips, whatever, and you want to take this more into like a wider diamond, feel free to do so. Also, if you would prefer to take a rounded spine for Baddha Konasana B, butterfly, with a round spine, you can do that as well. I'm going to cup my feet with my hands, forearms rest into the inner thighs and calves, and then inhale, lengthen my spine, and then exhale, hinge forward. Make sure you're still taking these deep and even breaths. And as you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. And then as you're ready, firm up the pit of your belly and gently come back up. Awesome, y'all. And then from here, bring your knees, your inner thighs together. Give yourself a moment. And then take your feet out wide. Ideally, your knees and your toes will point up. Your hands come back behind your hips. Take an inhale. If you feel this at all around your knees, like anything feels too tight, you're going to bring your feet closer together or take a bend to your knees. And then as you exhale, come forward, right? And whenever you feel sensation, you stop. because, why would you keep going if you're already getting what you need? Breathe. And then slowly bring yourself back up and bring your legs back together. And have you come into all fours. So stacking your knees underneath your hips and your shoulders over your wrists again. And then, you know what? Let's take the left leg out to the side body. Just bring your foot to the floor. All 5 toes point forward. Root your left palm down into the ground. Inhale to reach your right arm to the sky. You can skip the left leg being out and just stay in box pose if you prefer that for thread the needle. On the exhale, thread your right arm underneath the left. Come down to your right ear, your temple. And your right peace fingers might find your left big toe. Your left arm can reach forward. It can wrap around the small of your back in a half bind. It can stay where it was. But just start to breathe here. We've done some twisting. We're pretty open in the back. Some of you might even roll to the back of your skull. But I want you to be super careful if you go into any of those like deeper variations. It's easy to kind of get too far too fast. And then if you did anything else, you're going to slowly release it. Let your left hand come back in front of your face. Inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. And exhale, right hand comes down. My hair is all crazy. Bring your left knee back underneath your left hip. And then take your right leg out to the side body. All 5 toes point forward. Right palm roots. Inhale, take your left arm high. And exhale, thread the needle, left fingertips looking for your right big toe. And then when you're ready, your right hand either stays as is, your right hand can reach forward, or you can wrap it around the small of your back in a half bind. Just breathing into whatever you move into. And then when you're ready, you slowly and with control unravel out of whatever you created. Your right hand's going to come down. Press your palm. Inhale, take your left arm high first. And then exhale, bring your left palm to the ground. Step your right knee back underneath the hip. If you need to take a quick cat-cow to kind of counter all of that out, go for it. And then let's find our way into a seated position. And then once you're on your bottom, I'm just going to leave my hair down. Go ahead and come all the way down to your back. So there's a C curve to your spine. And then you roll down 1 vertebra at a time. And you know what? I'm also going to bring a block with me. All right, so bring your feet about hip width distance apart. And then you want your toes and your knees to point, toes at 12 o'clock, knees point straight up. Press your feet down and lift your hips. Now take that block and I'm just going to sit my sacrum down on it, right? So coming into a supported bridge. If you just want to take a bridge pose, that's cool too. I'm gonna be here for a second. Your hands can either rest on your body, getting comfortable, feeling the touch of your own palm against your flesh, right? Or your hands can come down with your palms facing up. Like, what is it that you need today? Because that's how you have to practice. And if you want to start to walk your feet forward, you can. Paying attention to the sensation it creates on the low belly, on the fronts of your hips, all that stuff. And then when you're ready to walk your feet back, do so. And then whether you're with a block underneath you or not, you can take your feet up into either a supported waterfall or just waterfall. And breathe. You just want your feet in the sky. All right, take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, bring your feet back down to the ground. Press them in. If you have a block underneath you, you're going to lift your hips, slide the block out from underneath. Slide it over there. And then take a second here. And then happy baby when you're ready. Peace fingers to the big toes or hands to the inner outer arches of your feet. Now, ideally bringing the knees towards the armpits-ish. And your thighs kind of go parallel to the ground. Now, if this is not happening, this is just very generic posture cueing. And most bodies are not typical or generic. So something I ever kind of throw out there is like trash in your body. You find a way to make it feel better, right? Especially since I can't see you. I don't know your struggle. So you have to honor yourself and be like, maybe not today that, you know? So sometimes people just hold on to the hamstrings, right? And they're more like, here, that's cool. None of this has to be perfect, just honest. And then if you have hold of your feet, draw the soles of your feet together and interlace your fingers around the knife edge of your feet and pull them in. So it's kind of like a reclining butterfly, but you're hugging your feet in towards your pelvis, right? One last time. And then inhale here. Release. Exhale, hug your knees, your inner thighs in towards one another, and draw your thighs in towards your chest. And then if it feels right, you're going to inhale, and on the exhale, bring your forehead up to your knees. One more breath in. And then exhale, extend your feet forward. Allow for your hands to come down by the side body with your palms face up. If you would prefer to take Shavasana as like a seated meditation, it's always available to you. You do you. Find the space that speaks to you right now. And allow yourself to drop in, right? So releasing any expectations you have for your practice because it's over, right? I mean, well, this is also part of your practice, but the physical asana is done. And so being attached to no longer serves you, right? It never did, but now there's even less that you can do about it. So allow for the rooting of the bottom side of your body. It feels heavy, it's grounded. Everything that's making connection with the mat connects a little bit deeper, it feels a little bit more. And then the top side of your body, it's almost as if it's lifting off. So it's light, it's floating, it's weightless. And in so doing, you allow yourself this space of being truly grounded in what you've just done, grounded in your meditation, but also relinquishing everything else besides this exact moment, right? And if that is something that is elusive for you, you are not alone, right? So sometimes what I do is if I'm struggling to drop in, is to body scan. And one of my meditations is to ask myself, where does it hurt? And I don't mean physical, yes, physically, but like where does the pain reside within me? It's typically my chest, my upper back. Where does the pain reside in me? And then I sit with that spot in my shavasana, or I sit with that spot in my meditation. And sometimes you cry, right? Like, I mean, because you sit with your tenderness, you sit with whatever it is that is heavy within you for a moment, and you let it run through you, course through you. And in so doing, you allow it the freedom to go, to leave, right? It has already taught you what you need to know. So if you can just acknowledge it and say, I see you, I hold you, I even cherish you. Yeah, like I honor you. I get what you're trying to tell me. And then just maybe that allows you to drop a little bit deeper into whatever it is that you're doing, right? So lie there, sit there, and rest. Enjoy. You know, if what you need is to be here longer, I truly do want you to stay where you are for as long as you can. We're not in a rush, right? If you are ready, you'll begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. On the inhale, take your arms up overhead and find a full body stretch. And as you exhale, tuck your knees back in. And eventually you'll roll over to the right. And take your time as you press up into your comfortable, easy sit, just right where you are. So we're all going to meet in Sukhasana the same way that we started our practice. Feet cross the ankles, hearts high, hands can rest in your lap or on your knees, or they can seal together in Anjali Mudra at heart center. You take this final moment, this pause, to be grateful for your body, to be grateful for what it does for you today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. I appreciate you all for being here. Take the hands up to your third eye center if that feels appropriate to you. That is your truth, your divinity, whatever that means to you, however it shows up for you. And just in that last final moments, namaste.